Hello there everybody, good day to you and welcome back to the channel. I've got my work cut out for me. You can see we got some stuff coming in on the truck. Got a big old heavy box right here, brought the ladder, another heavy box up there. I got hundreds of boxes, literally hundreds of boxes. Well, maybe not hundreds, maybe literally tens of boxes. We'll count them up later on. I've got tens of boxes of parts that I've been collecting and hoarding for X amount of time. Some of them well over a year, maybe even a couple years, and now it's time to go ahead and bite the bullet and start the project, and I'll show you why when we walk back inside. Stay tuned. This is going to be a very good video. Opening the hood. Yeah, this thing is just loaded with it. It's a circular cheetah. All right, let's get this place fired up and turned on and ready to rock and roll. Begin illumination procedure. There we go, beautimous. So as we can see, the shop is completely empty today. The whole place has been cleared out. A couple of reasons for that. One of which, we finished painting the floors, got that side done over there because I'm gonna take this lift out pretty soon because it's broken. We're getting a 4-post, it's coming in right here. So that's gonna be a project for the building, but I need to get my butt in gear on a project that I've been, like I stated earlier, hoarding parts for I don't know, a year and a half, maybe even 2 years. So let's get the door open. We're backing in the Silverado. We got some stuff to unload. There we go. Okay, so here's the deal. I believe over here in this cabinet, and I keep in mind it's all been moved around for the paint job section, but over here inside of this cabinet, I have boxes and boxes, gravity, boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes of parts, and they're everywhere. And all of these parts, most of them, not the oil filters, but everything else, it's stuff I've been hoarding for the next phase of the build on the Silverado. And it's time to begin that phase. So what we're gonna do today, get the shop turned on, obviously. We're gonna unload. There's a turbo in there. There's a transfer case in there. There's a transmission over there. There's a fuel tank in there. There's all kinds of stuff everywhere. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna get this truck in. We're gonna back it into the big corner over here after it's unloaded, and I'm gonna begin the process of pulling the cab off the truck. You're gonna figure that out, why I'm doing that, as we go along, but it's gonna be easier to do all this work with the cab off, with the frame sitting on the ground, than trying to get into it from under the hood. So let's get after it. I had to take an intermission from backing it in because I had to move everything out of the corner. I wasn't getting far back enough as I need to get the lift arms under the cab. So I got to get this bad boy all the way against the wall. Both corners. Here we go. Man, it looks like I already ruined the fresh paint on the floor. It's got tire marks on it. Oops. Same thing with cleaning it. You clean the floor, then you pull a car in and get it dirty immediately. You guys let me know when I'm all the way back, okay? You say when. I got a camera back there, but real tough to see. Okay, so here's how we're gonna start this. We've got the ability to get the lift arms under the cab corners. Front one right here and the rear one right there. Now, we're gonna have to remove these running boards on both sides. Those are gonna come off later because those running boards are attached to the cab mounts down below. See that right there? That's the mount for the cab. Big rubber looking guy, 2 rubber bushings both sides, and then a big through bolt that runs up into the cab structure. That's what bolts the cab to the ears of the frame there. So when we go to pull the running boards off, those bolts come out. At the same time, the cab will have become disconnected, and we just go ahead and pick it up with the lift. But that's not the hard part. The hard part is all the items that are attached between the cab and the drivetrain. That's going to be coolant lines, electrical lines, air intake. My light just twinkled. Several items. We're going to go through those as we see them. So let's just start from the beginning. And the beginning is always air induction. So let's pull the air filter and tubing off. We'll start getting things disconnected. Batteries can be disconnected. That includes the one out back. So let's go ahead and shut that down right now and let's get after it. Got a big Phillips right here. We're gonna pull all the stainless bolts out of the air filter cover. Let's start with that. Let's get this guy off. Now, every time I do a major improvement, repair, or upgrade to this truck, I do get some questions about why would you spend all this money on this nearly 20-year-old truck. This is a 2007 model. It's got 250,000 miles on it. The reason so is this thing's in phenomenal condition. It was in phenomenal shape when I bought it, and I've maintained it very well throughout the years that I've owned it. I believe I bought this truck in 2018. And the reason I'm doing all this is these things are super rare. They're hard to find that are in good condition, and I have one. In fact, when I bought this truck, I found it on Auto Trader, and I drove up to Birmingham, Alabama from Florida just to go pick up this truck. Bought it on a whim. I knew I needed it, and it was what I was looking for, and when I saw it, I jumped right on it. So you could say this truck was valuable to me from the moment that I saw it. It was love at first sight, so to speak. But these things are, like I said, becoming a little bit rare, and they're hard to find in good condition, and I find this one to be in great condition. And there will come a time when the thing wears out, because it is a 20-year-old truck with 250,000 miles on it. There will be a time when something wears out on it, or something breaks. I'm having some transmission issues with it, and I've decided we're going to go the route of built, not bought. That thing's stuck on the little air scoop down there. This is going to be a built, not bought. So I'm pretty much building a new truck, because a new one of these, a dually with a Duramax, 4-wheel drive, crew cab or extended cab, long bed with the 8-foot bed, these things go for like $90,000, $100,000, $120,000. I'm good. I paid $22,000 for this in 2018. It's worth more than that as it sat, and then I've been constantly refreshing it and making it new since I purchased the thing. So basically, at the end of the day, I'm gonna have a brand new 250,000 mile, 20-year-old truck. So considering this is gonna be a major project, I don't even have the opportunity to explain, or the time, to go through the parts list that I've been accumulating. Naturally, this is going to be a series type of video. So we can expect multiple episodes on this particular project right here. That's our base for the intake. That's the Banks Ram Air intake. Nice unit. Good filters too. It's got a little air scoop that goes with it. Some people love it, some people hate it, but it's not a problem for me, so that stays there. All right, battery terminals. These guys are up next. I've got bolts jammed into these batteries, and I'm using nuts to secure the all the cables. See how that works right there? The factory type of lugs don't have enough thickness to them to accommodate the stack of cables that I have connected to all these batteries. There's quite an electrical system here. Large diameter cables, big stuff. Go ahead and pull these guys out. Now, one of these is still hot because that other battery is still connected. So I can't just let these things flop around all willy-nilly like, and I believe that black one right there is the hot one. So I'm gonna stash you right there for now. Nobody move. Nobody move. Stick a towel in it for some isolation. There we go. So what I'm going to do is go over to the other battery, disconnect that side, and then the system will be dead. Because although one's disconnected, these two batteries are functioning as a single battery. Let's see, that's my negative side, so we're still not free and clear yet. Because I have, oh, see that? Zzz. And then one more positive right there. This one's the one to kind of watch out for here. Limited space and a lot of grounding points nearby. Look at that. Oh, come on. Please. Now? Maybe I'll turn the bolt out. Try that. the nut locks it in. What I do is I thread the bolt down all the way until it bottoms out, and I hold the bolt and then turn that nut to lock it all down. Here we go. Come on. Okay, we're disconnected now. Mostly. Okay, back at the passenger side battery. Let's get this ground disconnected here. Pull that guy out. And then we can pull the actual batteries out of the vehicle. And down just below all this rigmarole over here, there's a little rubber wedge, and that rubber wedge is bolting the battery down to its tray. 13 mil, let's get in there. Unclickage. Yeah, it's all a tight squeeze. We're gonna have a lot more space once the cab's removed. That's gonna take a minute. Now, 2 of these cables, they're running back into the toolbox in the bed where I have that auxiliary power system installed. I've already gone back there and disabled that, so there are no free electrons here hanging out, ready to arc and catch the fire. Pull this unit out of here. Come on, battery. Okay, let's get out of here. Move back over to the driver's side. Let's pull this battery out next. This one's got an extra step. There's this little metal brace in here, so we'll pull that guy out. 2 10 mils. Ooh, stay. There. That can go there for now. And the 13 that I'm going to need is buried way down there somewhere. Way down there. Don't worry, I know what all this stuff does. There she is. There's that 13. I see you. Looks like a 12, actually. No matter. Come on. There we go. Gotcha. There we go. Another one out. Cool. That's both batteries removed. So now I'm thinking, I don't even know what to think. So I'm thinking my first victim here is going to be the TCM. That's the transmission control module. That unit is what controls the Allison 1000's operation. At the end of all this, we're going to have to do a relearn on that to teach it that we have a new transmission installed. I've got a remanufactured unit out there in the case. I got it from a company called American Transmission, located out of Jacksonville. Never done any business with them before, but I met one of their sales reps not long ago, and I was like, hey, can you build me a 700 horsepower Allison? And he said, I don't know, let me ask the guys that build them, and I'll let you know. And then he called me back and he said, yeah, they said they can build a 700 horsepower Allison. So I said, all right, let's do it. Build me one. And now it's here. You guys can't see, but I'm trying to get the connector removed here. These things are worth their weight in gold. They had a nasty failure rate on some of the units, and they're in very high demand, but there's low quantity left over. I think folks are starting to remanufacture them now, or build aftermarket ones, but I believe there was a time when those things were remarkably rare, and they probably still are. Anyway, what I've got to do, I'm going to pull all these push pins out of the top half of this radiator shroud. Get that one out of there. Some on this side, some on that side, and there's going to be a couple bolts, and then we can de-shroud this fan assembly. Yeah, another little guy hiding out down there. Alrighty then. Beautiful. Yeah. What are we stuck on? Nothing? Something stuck on stupid? No, seriously, what is this? I have to, oh, it's a clamp, I got it. There we go. Okie dokes. Next, I'm going to need to pull the grill out of it. These things should just kind of clip in. This grill is kind of damaged. It was in a deer accident once upon a time. So it's in kind of rough shape, but I've never been inclined to replace it because you kind of can't see it with my a little deer guard thing in the way here. So if I'm showing this thing no regard for its own safety as I take it apart, it's because I kind of just don't care about this particular component. There we go. But I do care about scratching those headlights. Kinda. Yeah, see, it's all broken and stuff. The new one was like 380 bucks for the factory replacement, but I'm thinking if I'm gonna spend $400 for a grill, I might as well get a custom one that I like. But I can't find any custom ones that I like yet, so this one's just sitting in limbo. One day. I'm going to have to disconnect these AC hoses at some point, so I believe now would be a fitting time to recover the system. So I pulled the AC machine over. Let's fire that up. We'll get it connected and just recover all the refrigerant. We can put it back later, but for now, it's got to go. Because you can't open up your AC system when it's got 100 PSI of refrigerant in there. You'll cause a leak. That would be bad. Okay. That guy up there on that side. There we go. That'll wake up in a second. I'm going to have to disconnect the brake master cylinder because that's connected to the chassis hydraulically, so we can unbolt it from the brake booster right here and just leave it connected. That way we don't have to spill brake fluid and be forced to bleed the system later on. These are the engine wiring harness main connectors right here. Those are running over here to my Banks tuner. That guy disconnected. Bolts on with Velcro. Real nice like. You can cut this stuff out of here. A lot of this is zip tied for a nice clean look, but we need to unclean it, lose all the ties. There's a lot of wiring in this truck. Miles and miles of cable. So check this out. Here's going to be one cool section of this this build when I'm done. I've got a driver's side exhaust manifold right here. Now this is an improvement over the factory manifold because the factory one has like this divot in it to clear or give extra clearance for the steering shaft. This one has been cast a little differently where it's not as intrusive onto the shaft, so they were able to make it a straight shot through, and it's going to give much more flow. But what makes this one special over the others is I've got a pyrometer installed right there. See that little temperature probe? That's going to allow me to monitor exhaust gas temperatures in real time as the engine changes its performance levels. So I'll have a gauge or a PID set up on my gauge pod that is supplied from the Banks diesel tuner using the sensor, and it lets me know exactly where my EGTs are with stunning accuracy, which is good because you don't want to burn up blades on brand new turbos because you have it overtuned. Okay, let's fire up the compressor. We're going to need some air. Oh, we have air. Okay, so since we have some air, I guess it held air overnight. Cool. What I'm going to do is utilize this suction-y device right here, and we need to start pulling fluids out of it. For example, the power steering fluid's got to go because I need to disconnect these power steering lines, and if I don't pull the fluid out, it's just going to drip drain everywhere and make a mess on everything. Plus this thing is good for a power steering fluid exchange, so let's change it out. So this little guy is actually designed for like European vehicle oil changes, but I don't have any air here. What's the deal? Oh, the valve. That's why we're not leaking. But I can also, as I was saying, use that for other fluids as well, not just oil changes. Here we go, that's what I needed. Yeah, all right, now we're cooking. So you gotta ask, how does air pressure turn into air suction? And that actually is quite a simple answer. It's called the Venturi effect. When I open this valve right here, air is going to be blown past the top of the tank and just through this little muffler filter right here. As it blows by, it's going to create a lower pressure in the tank. That lower pressure, of course, is translated into the plumbing, the pipes, and I can use that lower pressure to evacuate some of the fluid. So let's get after it. Take this guy down here, open that valve up, and we've now got suction action taking place. We'll hang this here. There we go. Put that down at the bottom. We'll suction it all out. Oops, lost it. And that's going to minimize our spillages. In the meantime, the AC machine is over recovering the refrigerant. So we got a couple things going on all at one time. Yeah, that's about finished right there. A little bit more. Okay, good to go. Shut the valve. Shut the valve. So these valves right here, think of them like here's how you tell if they're open or closed. If your line is, or if your handle is in line with your valve, that's open. If it's 90 degrees, it's closed. So that's door shut, door open. And that's pretty much universal with all types of valves. That's valve closed and valve open. Let's go ahead and put the lid back on to prevent contaminations, and when I'm ready to, we can disconnect all those hoses and whatnot. Can't do the coolant just yet. It's still a little warm in there, and I don't want to burn my flanges, so I'm trying to do other things in lieu of all of the coolant. Maybe I'll pull the headlights out next. What do you think? Super easy Chevy headlights. Look at that. I don't know if I have to remove these, but the extra space here couldn't hurt. Perhaps I need to reach through, disconnect some stuff, get a hold of a bolt, remove a cable. Like I said, we're just going to strip this truck down to near nothingness. Now those bottom ones, a little different. They've just got a little clip tab business that they like to break too. Right there. My yellow is starting to flake off. Okay. LED driving light, that's good. And a 194 marker bulb. All right, next I want to get the boost tubes removed for the turbo. So there's one on this side, that's the hot side pipe. Then the cold side pipe is over there. That refers to hot compressed air exiting the compressor, and then it will travel through the charge air cooler, also known as an intercooler. As it runs through that charge air cooler, there's cooler air going into the engine intake. So you have a hot side and a cold side. That's the reasoning for that particular terminology. So I don't know which of those clamps is going to come off the easiest, so I'm just going to unclamp them both. At the top, and then down on the bottom, we have to go through the fender well, which my inner liner is still not installed, which is fine. And I believe that's the one I need to get to right there. Yeah, that's it. Okay, need to change the tool. We'll get the electron ratchet. You know, working at my own shop on a Saturday is kind of like, reminds me of working at the dealer back in the day on the Saturdays. You get a lot done. There's no distractions. Come on, there we go. Okay. Flashlight hat gravity. Okay, that's off. Get my hat back. Now up top, we'll get it disconnected. There we go. And now we need to lower this thing down. It will not come out through the top. Got to get it past that steering line. There we go. Brake line there. Aha. Got it. Hot side pipe removed. Okay, the AC machine is finished, so I'm going to save some electrons and shut that down. We'll get the hoses out of here because those will need disconnected soon. I'm going to shift gears one more time, and I'm going to attempt to get into the cooling system without massive spillage. So I took the tank already and sucked out the reservoir over there. That reservoir is going to be replaced. I have a new one. Again, we're doing 250,000 mile refresh. That's the goal here on this one. So even though there's nothing wrong with this one, I'm going to change it out anyway because it's ugly and it's got sediment in it and it's dirty and I don't want to use it, and I've got a new one. I fell victim to the Rock Auto shopping spree. You guys ever do that? Go on Rock Auto for something, next thing you know you got like a whole cart just full of goodies. That's what I did. They even have coolant hoses. This also would be a good time to water pump this truck. Not a bad idea. Let's get this bottom hose off. What I'll do when I remove this hose here, this is the feed hose that taps into the lower radiator hose from this reservoir. So when you fill the reservoir, it fills the lower ratty radiator hose. Oh, I thought I was DeBoss Garage. I said radiator. Anyway, when you fill the tank, it fills the lower radiator hose, and that's going to prime the water pump. So what we'll do, turn this thing back on. I've got the sucker here. We'll put that down inside of here as far as I can get it, and it'll start suctioning from the bottom of the system, at least as much as I can get it. That's the idea. So now I can pull. Let me get you guys out of here. Whoa, big mess upside down. Sorry for the vertigo. We'll take this thing and throw that in the pile of parts as well. It's going to be discarded later, but I don't throw out anything until I'm for certain I'm done with it. Who knows? I might put the new one on and it's got a hole in it. You never know. Okay, the rapid vibrations of the hose indicate that it is finished. So we can shut that back down. Let's pull it out some. Yeah, we're done all the way down. So we should be in a position where I can pull this upper hose off next. Then after that, I'll disconnect the transmission lines from the cooler up front. That's a tough one. And then after that, we'll get the brake booster / brake master. Okay, that's good. Release. There. Okay, up front at the transmission cooler, I've already taken the little clips out of the lines. So now I just need to wiggle these lines just a wee little. Should just pop out of there. Come out. Here it comes. Yeah. There, a little bit of spillage. I got a towel in there, no worries. You guys can't see. And the other side also is disconnected. There. And a little bit of spillage. Alright, I think the side quest is complete on those trans lines. AC machine is done for a second time. Let's try this one more time. So let's get this guy disconnected. Rid of that. What a shame that was factory Loctite too. Too bad. Oh, you know, let me clarify. That wasn't factory Loctite like from the factory when they built it. That was a replacement new bolt and it had Loctite on it. So that was the first time that bolt had been removed. There, clarification complete. No need to rah rah roo rah rah in the comments over that one. I realized it's like not original. I get it. Well, let's see if I can squeeze this in here. We got a 13 on the gun. Get that nut. There we go. And now the hose is out of the way, kinda. So that means I can disconnect this other hose from the firewall. Get rid of that guy. I'll put the nut back so it does not become lost. This will stay here with the truck. Put you right there. So while we're here, these cables all need to become disconnected. Those are the cables going to the battery. This cable here runs out back to the auxiliary power system. So let's get these guys disconnected and pulled out of here. You're coming with me. Everything's getting disconnected. Taking the whole truck apart. Excellent. Okay, looking down the fender liner here, we're going to pull this guy out in just a moment. There's a couple zip ties holding these wire harnesses to it. We pop those guys out. That's free. Pull this fender liner out of here. Ding! Liner's out. Nice. Okay, so what do we got here? A couple power cables hanging out. Those stay down there with the frame. And there is one cable. I need to cut this one. This has several wires inside of it. I've got to cut this and then put a big connector in it later on. This is running up into the switch panel overhead inside of the cabin. I never put a connector in it when I installed the cable running back to the auxiliary power unit in the bed. So yeah, that's a little bit extra work that's got to get added on, but no worries. Let's pull the charge air coolers off next. Or charge air cooler pipe, rather. I'll say that. Little tab. Mirror locking clip. Come here more. There we go. So I would like to think this is going to come out. Yes, yes it will. Kind of. I will need to disconnect it from the bottom of the charge air cooler. I think that's probably the only way to squeeze it out of there, unless I take some of the plumbing off the engine, which I will do that, but I don't want to do it right now. Try to get under this thing. Maybe from the back, if I can get in there. Yeah, that one's a little deep. I can't get under that little clip. It's a hard one. What is this? What it is, it's a bunch of corrosion in there. There we go. Yeah, it's been in there for a while. It's dusty and corroded. Okay, the clip's kind of out of it. Something's getting it stuck. It's this little plate business right here. Let me pull this out of here, this bracket. Yeah, that's the problem. It's clipped. There, now it's unclipped. Now this is unclipped. Yeah, we're getting places. Yeah, see it says CAC. Charge air cooler, that's the CAC. Excellent hammer. Come on. It's because I have both sides pulled out. That's what the deal is. And grab it from over here. Come out, you. There. There's my cack pipe. Okay, let's come out of here and we're gonna switch gears yet again because we need to finish getting this radiator shroud out. Now, if you look way down yonder, we've got another bolt in it on that bracket that goes over here to the engine. So we need to get this bolt loose so we can disconnect the rest of this shroud here. Switch it out to the little ratchet. Oh yeah, got her. So we'll pull this one out, then the other side, and I should be able to maneuver the that shroud out once these last 3 bolts are out of it. There's that one there, one on the other side, then this one right here up at the top. I think that's all of them. I've had this out before, I just not recalling it. I guess I've forgotten a lot over time. Happens, right? You older guys, does that happen? Is that okay to just forget things that were like mediocre term? Not short term, you know, not like what I had for breakfast, but like, you know, 2 months ago or something like that. Mediocre term. That's what I've got. Mediocre memory loss. Ha! Let's see, the other one, oh, that one's down there. We're going through the fender on this one. Yeah, it's way back there. See it? That's far away. You know, at some point, we've got to pull the steering shaft out too. Get that thing disconnected, and that's right here. Probably pull it off through that bolt right there in the middle. Separate the 2 halves of the, or sides of the shaft. Okay, we're loose. All right, so this side over here is looking pretty stripped clean. I think most of it's all disconnected. AC lines, coolant lines, I did those guys and you weren't looking. There's one of them right there sitting there. There's the other one going to the heater core. So I think this whole section of the vehicle, with the exception of this cable that I need to cut into, is separated from the drivetrain. So now, chassis. So now let's go over to this other side. Let's do steering shaft and the brakes. And once the steering and brakes and fuel lines are disconnected, then we'll go down below and start pulling off the running boards and the mounts, and then see what we can do about getting this thing lifted up. That's my goal before the end of the day, is to just get the cab separated from the chassis. Okay, that's the collar bolt for the shaft. Very important bolt. Set that aside, don't lose it. Take the screwdriver, try to pry that collar off of. It's gonna be fun to see. Yeah, we need to pry that collar off the steering shaft. Can't even see it from here. Right there, is that it? Yeah. Survey says not right now. Okay, we'll come back to that later, I suppose. That one's not coming off just yet. Yeah, wait, nope. Backing up again. I have to get these fuse block connections disassembled and removed. All this stuff has to come out of here because it's all wired in and integrated through this unit here. So I need to disassemble this whole fuse block and take the connectors for the main harnesses out of it. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I foobarred that a kind of looked right over it like it wasn't on click, like it wasn't an issue. It's not coming off. Come off, please. We'll apply more leverages. I've never had that fastener removed before. Never. Okay, stuck again. Exhilarating content, watching me remove fasteners, bolts, and nuts, and wires. Okay, so this whole section of harness right here, we can just stuff that over on the engine somewhere that stays with the engine side. Just stick it all, just shove it over there, out of the way. Anything else that's going over to the engine side has to become disconnected. So that's going to be all these connectors right down here. Let's get behind the retainer clip. Easier with two hands. Come here. Here we go. We're getting somewhere. Hang on. Got a few more wires up top to disconnect. This one and that one. These are power in and power out wires that are high capacity or high current wires. Don't know exactly where they go. One might go to the glow plug control module. One might be headed to the brake control module. That bolt is on the floor. That's fine. I'll fetch it later. Oh, one more right here. Let's get that one off. Now under here, we're gonna find several more fasteners that hold these individual connector blocks to the fuse box assembly. I'm gonna pull all these guys out and just disconnect everything. Come out, please. Come out, please. Thank you. There we go. That one says no. We'll get to it. There we go. These were never designed to come apart very easily. Not at all. Well, not to be serviced easily. There we go. Okay, so fuse block has been removed. That's out. So now we've just got a bunch of wires dangling around all willy-nilly like. Shoo. Let's get this stuff sorted and kind of separated, disconnected, pulled out of this junction block. There's many, many connectors. Some of these are running into the cab. Yeah, these are the cab side connectors. Let's pull this guy off here. That one. Another one down there. Stop going back to where I moved you guys away from. It's like they're doing the opposite of what they were supposed to. Quit it. There. There's a clamp here holding onto this harness. I'm trying to disconnect said clamp. Oh, I see. There it is. Another clamp down here. It's like a harness clamp. Ooh, frayed wire. Look at that. I found damage. Interesting. Is there a little rodent in here? A little mousy? Or is that from vibrations? Okay, harnesses are separated. Kind of. It's a mess, but they're apart. I'm going to pull this tray out. If I can. It seems to be in the way, and there's a lot of stuff here, so I want to clean this fender well out the same way the other side is. Oh, I see it. There's a hiding one. Oh, this is gonna be a mess to put back together, you guys. What have I done? I'll tell you what I've done. I've started the most epic Duramax build ever. Well, maybe not ever, but this may be the most epic Duramax build that I've ever undertaken. Like I said, built, not bought. Let's get this tray out of here. Okay, getting closer. Now, there's about 4 power steering lines on this booster right here. 2 of them are just going down to the steering gear down below, and then the other 2 are running over to the pump. So we just have to pull the ones off that go to the pump. So this one here, that's the return to the pump. So we'll take that and stick that over on the air conditioner compressor bolt, if it'll stay, and it won't. We'll stick it down there on the alternator. We'll lube the alternator. Then the other bolt, that one, the other line rather, that's over there on the other side. Wrong wrench. Where's my right wrench? How about an 18? Much more better. Let's get that guy cracked loose right there. Unclick. Oh. Sun's going down. Tell you what, I'm gonna close the door, and this right here could stay with the engine as well. I'm gonna close the shop door some to get this blinding, glaring light business out of the way. Yeah, it's getting late. There. Stay. Much more better. Okay, now we can try to see what we're trying to see. Gonna need 15 mil for the brake master cylinder bolts. These guys are coming out wrong direction. There. Did you see that? See what it did? It started to unthread that nut or stud or whatever, and that stud happens to be reverse threaded. So it makes it kind of difficult to do this. I need to put a wrench on it. For reasons unknown to me, this setup is arranged that way. I'll show you. Going to tighten this, it's going to back this stud out of here because there are threads on it that engage onto that Hydro Boost brake booster right there. I don't know why they do this. Does anyone know? Yeah, watch this. I can't get it out all the way. The line's in the way. But yeah, get you real close on it. See that? There's two sets of threads here. One set of threads for the flange on the Hydro Boost, and then another set of threads for the brake master. Well, regardless of why they're there, they're coming out now. Unclick. So we're just separating the master from the booster, and it's just going to hang out right here in the fender well area. Okay, so while we're right here and we're running out of stuff to do, let's try to get that steering shaft disconnected and removed. That'll come apart later. Yeah, I've got to get it off the steering gear down there on the splines, but it's not wanting to come off right now. And there's a seal at it, so I don't want to drive a screwdriver in there and end up gouging up my seal, because that'll ruin a very nice steering gear. It's an upgraded unit, because the other one was getting sloppy. Oh, there's that nut. All right, I think we're about ready to start the lift. I have removed the engine ground cable. I've got the two fuel lines here that are disconnected. I need to unbolt them from a bracket, which is right there, and then we can unbolt the cab and try to lift it. Let's do that. Let's get the cab up next. Okay, running board cab mount time. Let's get down and dirty with it. This is gonna be my least favorite part because I have to disassemble all this running board hardware. We've got some big old bolts right here. Now, all you guys up north, you're gonna hate me for this because these things just come right out, not rusted. Yeah, it's just gorgeous. Look at that. No cutting holes in the body, no surgery. It's just kind of comes right out of there. There we go. All right, that's one. Let's move it on down the line, get the rest of them out. Okay, next. Loud noises. Sweet. Okay, it's two. Let's get those other ones. There's one there and then one way up front. Ooh, this mount looks kind of crusty and crunchy. I think it's broken. Good thing I'm going to put new ones in it. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of free. So we figure out what's holding on to it. I think it's that other bracket over there. Oh, here we go. There's a nut. Okay, coming down. That's one running board. Woo! All right, that's out of there. Yeah, pretty crusty looking mount. Not too fond of it, but they're going away. Okay, so that's one side. We've got one more of these guys way up front in the front of the fender, and then the passenger side. We're almost there, guys. We're almost there. We're in the home stretch. Okay, in the left front fender here, got a wrench on top of this bolt. This one threads, goes all the way through. There's the nut. Ow, finger smasher. I lost it. There you go. There we go. Got her. And there's our bolt right there. Cab mount smashed and junk. Good to go. All right, let me get the other side off and we're gonna lift the cab. All right, that's pretty much it. I do believe this thing is, for the most part, completely disconnected. So we're gonna start the lift. Doesn't mean we're gonna hit the button and just run it up all willy-nilly. Like, we gotta listen for pops and crunches and things like that, because I know there's still a transmission cable connected, and I'm sure there's a ground wire or two somewhere lingering. Okay, let's start it. Need to make contact. See how things settle and move around. Let's give it some pressure. Okay. I see the chassis coming up. So the lift is definitely taking some weight. Let's take over here, take a look. Yeah, it's got good cab corners. No worries, guys. Let's give it a little bit more up, see what happens. Oh, separation, look at that. Watch this. It's coming up. That was the lock, no worries. Yeah, watch, the cab's coming up. Oh yeah, beautiful. Okay, so here we go. First problem, we got a parking brake cable. I have to pull that guy off. Forgot all about it. See, there's always a few things going on that need to be addressed. Okay, let's let her down some. Okay, this is gonna be interesting. I just looked inside of the cabin to attempt to see if I could detach it from in there, and it's not looking good. So what I'm gonna do, we're gonna vice grip this into place. The way it has slack in it, it's very lightly gripping, and we can pull this thing apart, like right here at this bit of a connector. Maybe. See that? Open it up some. Okay, so now I can lose the vice grips. The cable will slack off, and then I'll come in here and just detach this part of the cable from the frame, and then leave it hanging out of the bottom of the cab. That's the idea. Some pliers in there on it. The pincer pliers. Those are the ones to release the two little clips. Yeah, I'm about Probably 4 or 5 hours into this right now. There we go. Okay, that's one item. I'll have to get that transmission cable later on. I want to get some lift out of this first. I might be able to disconnect it right here. Yeah. All right, let's try it now. Cable's out. I think we got some separation here. So yeah, this thing's got the weight. Totally got the weight. Good, good, good. Okay, so now we just have to start checking things and make sure we're not tearing stuff off the truck or off the engine. Let's see, that's giving me some problems right here. That shroud, gotta figure that out. Back down again. I may have to pull the fan off entirely. Just spin the fan out of there and remove that whole deal. Because I can't get this bottom plastic piece to come out, I don't think. Yeah, no. Okay, I need to remove the fan. Fan clutch remover coming in. Need to unbolt it from the water pump. Let's give it a couple love taps here. I stand corrected. It's not actually bolted to the water pump. It has like its own dedicated pulley. There we go. All right, climbing up in here over the grill guard. Yeah, what I have to do is unbolt that fan unit, and then once it's unthreaded, lift the entire assembly out with the shroud. It's quite aggravating. Okay, I think it's loose. So now I'll just sit here and spin it. It will unthread, and then we'll lift it out. Endless threads, come on. Okay, it's off. Pull it up. Out. There we go. All right, so I'm looking around for other things that need to be disconnected, and I found ow, that hurt, block heater connector there. The lower radiator hose is off, so I think everything's ready to, they're looking good. Yeah, that bracket's gonna be a problem in a second. I need to pull that off, but let's give it some more up just to check everything else out. Yeah, we're up about 3 inches now. See that? A little more. We got a fuel hose here. I'll get that later on. Yeah, you do a little bump at a time, and then come back and start rechecking things. That's good, that's good. Okay, that's not connected. None of this is connected. Yeah, we're not yanking anything out of it, so that's the point to not break stuff. Whoa, it scared me. Yeah, we don't want to break things. It's looking good so far. Yeah, that bracket's got to go. It's going to be it's like a 19 and a 19 or something. 17 maybe. All right, here we'll meet in the middle and try. We'll try 18. Yep. There we go. Bracket gravity. Uh-oh. Where'd you go? Come here. This can go over here. Don't get lost. All right, that's looking good now. Let's give it another bump in the up direction. That's that cable I have to cut. Yeah, let's give it some more up action. See what it does. Everything's looking good here. Okay. Yep, it's under the knife. Here we go. Here, let's give it the chassis test real quick. Okay, that's pretty free feeling. See, we got the cab stationary, and that chassis is moving around. Okay. I know I'm forgetting something. What is it? Except for just that one little guy there, that cable. What am I forgetting? It's got to be something here. Transmission lines, no, those are staying put. Yeah, all that stuff's staying put. I'll give it another bump up, see what we got. Something's touching something somewhere. Something dockside. What is it? It's not wiring harness, it's not cables. Coolant. I'll figure it out. Good. There's a wire. Get out of there. Okay. Looking good in the neighborhood. Yeah. Let's keep bringing her up. So close. Nervous? Yeah, me too. Wow. Yep, just keep checking. That wire out of there. I think we're real good to, let's bring it up some. Let's move it up. Yep. It appears to be totally disconnected. Yes. Ultimate body lift. Looks good up there. That's pretty cool. Uh-oh, something made noise. What's that thing? Little flappy business. Flippy floppity flappity. This goes. Oh no! Oh, I did all that without making a mess, and look, tripped at the finish line. Transmission cooler. Put that down there. Yeah, that's fine for now. Let's check. Dance around that. Let's give another good look here. It's not hung up on anything. Still got a little bit of time before I got to cut into that. Hooray. Yeah, we're good. Let's take it up some more. Woo! Oh yeah. Got to cut that guy off. There's a zip tie wire right there. Let's cut it. Clippy clippies, where are you? Yeah, it's getting dark out. Lauren's looking for me, I think. I heard my phone dinging. Yeah, I think we're 99. 0.9975% clear. Get this off of there. Looking good. Oh yeah. Okay, time to cut that. Maybe not. Maybe I can just leave that attached and never have to cut it. I seem to have some slack in here. Just gonna keep running it up. We're totally clear. It's detached, you guys. That's one floating cab. Ha ha ha. Oh yeah. Oh, got a straggler. There we go. Beautiful. Clearance back here is tight, but looking good. Okay, I think that's it. Let's go all the way up. We're there. Couple wires, one hose. That's all that's attached. We're clear. That's that. We're up, guys. There she is. That's one cab. I rolled the chassis back about an inch or so to clear the back of the cab, so no fitment issues there. Oh, this is freaking scary. Let's set it down on the lock for some level of safety. Okay. There she is, boys. One LBZ Duramax Allison 1000 transmission and an NP 263 XHD transfer case. Oh yeah, it's apart. We're there, that's it. So looks like that's gonna be about it for this one, I think. I need to start disassembling the engine next. Turbo's coming out, the downpipe's gotta come out. These up pipes right here have to come out. I've got new ones going in there. This manifold, this transmission's coming out of it. This transfer case is coming out of it. Everything's coming out of it. We're stripping this unit down. And it needs some tires on it too. So that's the prequel to the build project that's about to take place here. Now that it's out, I'm gonna go ahead and begin the while I'm in there. And while I'm in there, this whole thing is getting stripped down, rebuilt. We're building a new one, guys, building a new one. So that being said, I've got nothing more to offer you guys in this video. It's rather lengthy. I expect the remaining videos on this build project to also remain lengthy. I'm gonna rebuild wiring harnesses along with everything else, like I just said. So stay tuned for the next one, you guys. Thanks again for watching. See you guys later. Have yourselves a fantastic day. End of video.